Good morning. Whoa, the lights are a little bit full on this morning. Just wait for some of you to come on. Hello, who have I got on? Make sure you come on and say hello. So today was a little bit of a teaser. Hey Jen, and the question is, but did you really? And I want to have a bit of a tough conversation with you today about the story you've been telling yourself about, you know, we're coming into this time of the year. Good morning, Kim. We're getting to the time of the year where it's starting to wrap up and we're starting to reflect on the year that we had. And if you're not where you want to be, and you're telling yourself the story of, but I did everything that I could this year and I tried everything and I showed up every day and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, I'm just looking at my hair. It's looking a bit crazy. It's a bit out of control. Did you really is the question that I want you to ask yourself. So I know with a lot of my clients, when I'm coaching them, when they're struggling with picking up the numbers that they want or they haven't hit their sales targets. Hey Jess. I always hear, you know, I'm doing everything, I'm trying everything and it's still not working. And my question is always, but are you really? Are you really following up on every single thing that I asked you to do? Are you contacting those people that have reached out to you in the past like I asked you to? Are you sending out the email list like I asked you to? Are you going live every single day and making sure there's a really strong call to action? Are you getting uncomfortable to do what it takes? Hey Laura. And often the answer is an immediate yes, but on reflection, you know, when they think about it, they really haven't. You know, I have these conversations all the time with my coaching clients where it's basically, you know, where an event's coming to a point where they don't have the numbers they want and they really need to fill them. And I said, well, what have you really done to fill this event? Well, you know, I emailed my list and I posted on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, and that's it? That's all you did? And they're like, yeah, but you know, I made sure that I emailed my list and I did this and I did that. And I'm like, but you know, I asked you to go and personally contact those people that were showing some interest a little while ago, or the people that have reached out to you in the past. Hey Lolita, and you know, you kind of, you know, you didn't follow up on that stuff. You didn't call those other female entrepreneurs that have your market and ask if there's a way for them to help you fill your event. You didn't get uncomfortable and you didn't do the things that would have made the difference. And sometimes, morning Timothy, and that's the stuff that makes the difference. The passive freaking easy stuff like mailing your list and you know, getting things to happen, you know, just posting stuff on Facebook, it's passive. For you to be actively getting the numbers that you want, filling your events, all that sort of stuff, it's where you've got to get uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. And the only reason that you can make yourself become that uncomfortable and do the things that you really don't want to do, pick up the phone, all that sort of stuff, is your why. The outcome needs to be far more important than the feelings of discomfort that you know you'll move through very, very quickly. And you know, there have been so many times when I've had to do things that were really uncomfortable to be able to meet my goals, because I knew that this little bit of discomfort is actually going to get me there. And also, often the stuff that we feel really uncomfortable about, people aren't uncomfortable with. I remember in the early days when I used to have to call my the inquiries that came through, and I'm like, oh God, you know, I have to call these people. And then I realized that, you know, these people have actually messaged me. They put their details in there for the express purpose of me calling them. That was the whole point. And so I got over that really quickly. And when I was filling my events, I remember being at my event and asking them, you know, what got you here? And they said, you know, the fact that you picked up the phone and actually called me, you know, that just doesn't happen anymore. So the fact that you actually took the time to call me and ring me and have a conversation with me is what got me here. It told me that you really cared and really wanted me here. I'm like, well, there you go. Here's me saying, oh God, I don't want to bug these people by ringing them. They're going to feel like it's another sales call. So the discomfort was just my own story and me getting in the way of that. And so now I know anybody that comes through with an inquiry, it's like, that's a green light, baby. They want me to call them and talk to them and have the conversation and invite them to work with me. That's kind of the whole point. And even on my mailing list, you know, I with the Black Friday thing, I was very uncomfortable having to email people multiple times, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. That's just not really the way that I like to do business. Great, Jen. And, you know, one of the emails I even sent out was, you know, this email is more painful for me to send than it is for you to receive because this is really uncomfortable. And I just had the conversation and let them know, you know, I'm not going to leave any stone unturned. I promised myself that I was going to take this all the way and see what was going to happen if I tried it this way. And, you know, will I do it again next time? Probably not. But I needed to test it, you know, and luckily I have this relationship with my people that allows me to be able to test that sort of stuff, and it's okay. So, hey Julie, so sometimes it's really just a matter of pushing through that stuff, and the discomfort is in our own head when it's not really in anybody else's. You know, they're not bothered by the fact that we're making those calls or whatever it is. In fact, they feel quite special when we take the time to do that. So I really want to invite you to ask yourself that question when you're saying to yourself, you know, I really tried hard this year and, you know, I didn't meet my goals this year, and, you know, I tried everything and I worked really hard. I want you to ask yourself, well, did you really? Did you really do what it took? Did you really do the things that made you uncomfortable? Did you really push past that discomfort and get to the other side? Hey, Erin. And there's a good chance that you'll say no. I know for me, hand on heart, I can't say I gave it everything. I can't say, you know, I did everything that was uncomfortable and pushed through. But thankfully, I'm in a position where, you know, life is still pretty good and business is still pretty good, even if I don't make myself really uncomfortable like I did in the early days. But I guess the other thing too is I've built this muscle now where the discomfort is less when I do those things. Although I've in the past telephoned those conversations, I'm like, so I'm so lacking customer follow-up this year. Yeah, important, really important to be following up. Really important to be following up, because if you do that, you're staying on people's radar, and that's what we need to do. Remember, it's just communication. This is all about relationships. It's not about just throwing information at people and telling them buy my stuff. It's about creating a relationship. It's about having a conversation. And for me, it's always a long-term approach. So there are a lot of women in my community that can't afford to work with me right now, but I know that as soon as the money's in their account or they're in the position to, that I'm top of the list. And I'm okay with that. I don't need everybody to work with me today or yesterday. And as I've spoken about in the past, you know, I have people in my programs now that were part of my Glow Women's Fitness Online community back in 2006, and they're still working with me today. And there are people that have been on my radar for many, many years, just, you know, following on my Facebook page, a friend on my profile page. And, you know, then they basically say, oh, now's the time for me to work with you. And I'm thinking, wow, it's been probably 6 or 7 years, but that's okay. And it's all about that long-term approach. Don't be short-sighted. Don't think that the work that you're doing now is all for naught, because it's not. It just, sometimes it takes time, and you'll have clients that, you know, come across your stuff and want to work with you straight away, and that's always awesome. And then there are going to be the people, and the time is just not right for them. It's usually not anything to do with you. It's about them and their stuff and their willingness to be ready, or, you know, they've got stuff going in their own life, or they need to feel financially secure enough to invest. And it's other people's business. If they're in your world and their community and they're hanging around and they're watching your stuff, if they're not working with you, it's just because the time's not right for them yet, and the time will show up. It's inevitable. It will always happen. But don't be short-sighted. Don't think that if a sale doesn't happen now, or if you send out an offer and people don't jump on that straight away, that, you know, it's a failed approach. It just means, you know, you've planted another seed, and when the time is right, those people will come to you. That's it today. I've got some live training to do next for my Make an Extra 5K program. We've got a big day in that program today. This is where the rubber hits the road, so I'm going to freak them all out a little bit, but that's okay. And then I have a coaching session with one of my awesome clients from the US, and then it's content creation all day today. So head down, bum up, getting a whole bunch of content created for my various programs over the next few days, and then I'm going to take a well-earned weekend off, I think, and then go hard again next week, and then it's getting close to wrapping it up after that. But whatever you're doing today, have an amazing day, and yeah, don't forget to ask yourself that question. When you're telling yourself, you know, I gave it everything, I did everything, and I still didn't get where I wanted to be, ask yourself, well, did you really? And it shouldn't feel like a bad thing. It should actually give you inspiration to think, well, wow, you know, imagine if I really did everything that I said I was going to do. I got this far by doing this much. So imagine if I really did everything that I said I was going to do and know that I'm supposed to do. Imagine how far I can get when I do that. Anyway, that's it. Have an amazing day. Bye.